Hey Titus, how are you, man? It's good to have you on the show, on the podcast.
And I hear there's a lot of filmmakers out there who want some straight talk and get into the film business. So let's go, man.
So you in Sweden? I mean, Sweden is not like a movie country, in my opinion. So
It used to be. We used to be really big, like in the art house scheme of things, and like Ingmar Bergman came from here, and with the Seventh Seal, and started this revolution of what films could be. But now we mostly do really boring, police shows and stuff that we sell to Germany, but I'm not part of that. I want to revolutionize it. I just live in Sweden, but I enjoy filming in Sweden. I made some Hollywood movies, and I didn't really enjoy working in America that much because there's so many rules and regulations. So what I like is to bring Hollywood here when I can do whatever the fuck I want, and I don't have a lot of people like telling me you can't do that. That has never been done before, and yada yada yada. So here they give me money and they leave me alone, which I intend to like, and also gives the best result.
okay, so the locations are quite interesting. I think it's not like, I mean, it's not America, so it's pretty different. So you can do a lot. Also in the winter, I guess. You recorded some great footage I've seen. In snow and all that. I mean, that was really fantastic. So it was really blew my mind. It was really cool, and it was all done in camera. So no AI, no VFX. It was all done in camera, which is even greater. So tell me a little bit about that process, and when was it actually?
To begin with, fuck AI. Like you, I want to get out in the real world, feel the smell when you enter a real location. I mean, we shot that. You're talking about Fear of the Woods, I assume. We're shooting that on a real like mountain out in the wilderness. Like, that's the good thing about Sweden is we have like snow security. Like there's always snow in certain months. Like otherwise. So sometimes Hollywood productions come here because they like planned it in somewhere else in Europe and like, oh shit, there's no snow this year because global warming and all that stuff. So, but up in the north, there's always snow from like November till March. So
but
so and we have this beautiful vistas, and it looks the same as top like US, beginning of Canada. It's the same landscape, so you can easily dub it for whatever.
Yeah, but it was a short, it was a feature, or was it?
No, I do pilots on my own, and then I bring it to my American friends, because like just having a script and some packaging is not enough anymore. You need, especially if you're doing something new, you need to show it. And that's how I got my break in Hollywood, because I made this, I wanted to make a barbarian dark fantasy here in Sweden, and Game of Thrones hadn't been done yet, so I had no good reference, but I always knew that I wanted to have this landscape, and I wanted to have the black metal video aesthetics and Viking lore and all that stuff, but it's never been done before, so people were like, oh, that's gonna be so cheesy, it's gonna be like Legend of the Seeker, a scene. I was like, no, but it's like you do it good, like the actors acting like it's a drama, and they don't go like, hey, the sword in your hand, and blah blah blah. But people didn't get it, so I realized I just have to show them.
Yeah.
And I shot 20 minutes for Legend of Dark Rider, which I intend to do for my pilots. Well, I used to. I don't have to do that anymore, luckily. But so I usually did like the first opening stuff,
right?
And then I could use that as a standalone short, send to festivals, yada yada. I could also use it as a pilot to show people, because if you only shoot a pilot, like only some investors sees it and that's it. It's sort of a waste of money, especially if it doesn't get made. Like worst case, at least I did a kick-ass short film that I could show in festivals and win some awards, which is important when you're starting out. But also, I've already shot like 10% of the film. If it's good enough, you don't have to go back and reshoot that. But I did that, and it just bombed on the internet. It was like John Carpenter saw it, Dolph Lundgren, everyone, and like, wow, what's this? This is really cool. And that's when I got the call to do my first Hollywood feature, basically.
Right. So, but on the practical side, so basically you have your script, you have your, you know what you're gonna shoot, what it's about, and all that. But you have to set up production. That's going to cost some money. Once the camera is rolling, you have to rent the camera. You have to. I mean, if you're in the middle of the snow, there's a lot of logistical problems you will run into. So that everything costs money. So how did you finance that, or how did you do it? And also the actors, how did you get them? Because everyone needs to be paid, right? So how did that work?
No, you just use your charm and your passion, and people tend to. Everyone can devote a weekend for you if they really like, because people didn't get into this industry to get paid. They get into this industry to make really cool movies together with other people.
Right.
So if you're shooting a pilot like over a weekend or 3 days, it's easy to get really cool people if they know that when they step on your set, it's gonna be good. They're gonna be fed, or sort of at least, and they know that you're gonna finish the film. Because that's the biggest thing I ever tell new filmmakers: finish your film. I mean, your first film is not gonna be the masterpiece you think it's gonna be, because you've never done it before, and when you've done the first edit, you're like, oh, it doesn't work. I mean, newsflash, you know this. No first cut is good. I mean, Scorsese almost vomits when he sees his first cut, and you're like, oh, it didn't work. But then you don't give up. You massage it. You take feedback from other people, and bit by bit, when all the effects come on, the grading, the sound mix, above all, and then you're like, oh man, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, but that's clear. But I think that how to get the footage into the can, I think that's problematic for many filmmakers, because okay, you're gonna spend 5K, you're gonna spend 10K, 20, 30, 40. To get something into the can. So it's you really have to convince a lot of people to do some free work, I guess, in order to get that type of footage. Otherwise, it's going to look like amateurish, and it doesn't look amateurish. It looks really cool. So it's really great. So
what I did, I know that what really costs money is producers. So I just do everything. I just produce it myself. So I do everything myself. I fund it myself. So I just took my vacation money, and so we did. All of the Legend of Darker cost 10K, basically.
Yeah.
And also one of my tricks is there's quite some VFX in this. That's pretty impressive. But that's one of my tricks is if you spend on some very carefully thought out, like opening scenes or some money shots, then people see this, because the rest of it is just in a tavern. We shot that in a real tavern out in a snowstorm in a real Viking village in outside of Stockholm with real outfits and weapons and everything. But it's really just in a tavern. But if you show the world before that to the audience, then the audience have that in their memory when they step into the tavern. So then the story opens up and feels a lot bigger than what it actually is. That's
filmmaking. It's just showing the imagery that brings that effect you want. So you were in LA then? I mean, I was in LA too for 4 years. I lived there, and
tell me about it, man. Tell me your story.
Yeah,
how you got into.
I wrote a script with a writer from the UK in 2006, I guess, 2006. I raised money and we went to, and then in let's say July we went to LA. Then in August I married with my wife. And then in September we went on honeymoon. We were already in soft prep, let's say, in Bali. And then from Bali we went back to Belgium. From Belgium we moved to LA, where we shot the movie. Before Christmas it was finished. And then then we went back to LA and we did all the edit there and everything. So it was shot on 35mm. It was on 3 perf. It was slightly cheaper than 4 perf. With a movie cam, and yeah, it was a hell of an experience. It was my first feature, and you know, the thing is, at that time those cameras are really heavy, so when you want to have a quick shot from here to there, forget it, man. There's no time for that. So that's I think that's much better right now. You can, with small cameras, you can do a lot of stuff and try things out, and also keep rolling, you know, for another take. All those things were limited. Limited, and then we also had a lot of shit going on with the sound man. It was just nuts. It was crazy. So I actually had to fire him, but I didn't. Anyway, I was busy directing. But he actually put reverb on the track. I say, oh, I hear reverb in the headset. What's going on? Oh, but that's not on the tape. Yeah, but don't exaggerate, you know. And then when we went back to Belgium, it was on the fucking tape, man. It was on tape. So I said, yeah, what do I do now? Can you give me the dry sound? Oh, yeah, no, but you have to edit and you have to... He was just full of shit, you know. So people like that, you know. I mean, people can look it up on IMDb who it is. He's just nuts. He screwed a lot of the sound. So we had to do a lot of ADR and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
Just for... Because... Just,
sound guys are usually pretty crazy.
yeah, but also LA is pretty crazy. When you go... What was my experience? When you go to LA for the first time, you always meet the most fucked up people first.
That's true.
They know once someone comes out of town from making movies, and then they try to screw you everywhere they can. Now, of course, when you get older and get all the experience, you have a radar. And actually, I don't meet people like that anymore. But that was my experience. And then and then we had the distributors, and we distributed worldwide on Redbox, also on Netflix at that time. Which was on DVDs, you know, posting DVDs by post. So yeah, it was another time, but it was a lot of experience, and also as a producer. But it was a lot of work. It was all in studio. Also, we built everything. So it was. We spent a lot of money. We shot it in North Hollywood. I mean, times have changed. At that time, we could shoot it on 4K on the what's the name of the camera again? It was a big camera in Woodland Hills. They were like providing those sensors for the satellite to create high resolution pictures of Earth, you know. And it was the camera was like even bigger than the movie cam, you know. It was crazy big. It was very expensive. And then the alternative was the Vericam from Panasonic, but it was only 720p, which was not like what we were looking for. We need like 2K at least, you know, which film is basically 2K, a little bit more. So yeah, it's a big experience, but eventually I've chosen to do producing, because that's more what I want to do. I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm doing a lot of business besides producing, but you know, you have to find yourself. I think that's what I want to do, and I want to talk with directors that are really in it right now. I think it's really interesting because I'm dealing with directors all the time for projects. And it's very important to find people that are really ambitious and also can prove they can do something with limited resources and budget. I think that's.
I think that's the future of the indies. Like
I agree.
And even you can challenge the studio stuff with it nowadays, because I mean, I don't know what your experience was when you got to LA for the first time. For me, it was like, oh, I'm gonna go to the dreamland. I'm gonna go to movie heaven, and I'm gonna learn from all these masters. Like, I was climbing up the Kung Fu mountain, and I was like, I'm your apprentice. Show me how it's done. And I got there, and I was like, they don't know shit. Wow, this is like the Mecca of Hollywood, and I knew more than all of them. Because we're both European guys. Because what I did the first 16 years of my career was to learn every part of every job, which I recommend to all the directors watching. Like, I learned how to operate a camera, I learned how to editing, I learned makeup, and VFX, everything, acting. Because I want to be the best leader to all those stations. I'm not the best of performing all of them, but I have the knowledge and I know what they need, and I know how not they can screw me over. Like say, this is costing this much if you want to do it in VFX. No. You just do this, and then they're like, oh yeah, you're right. Because then you can don't try to bullshit on me because I know. And it was so obvious that people didn't care and they didn't know enough, which was really surprising to me. I don't know what your first experience was.
Yeah, you have bullshitters everywhere, That's just that's true what you're saying. You need to know every detail. You need to know a lot, and you have to do some sound editing. Try see how it works. What's important. I'm really picky on sound. I used to I had my own studio. I made a lot of music in the 90s, and did a lot of recording of singers and all that. And I have a trained ear,
I mean, sound is probably the thing in like the first director's movies that's the way that you can always tell that this is like an amateur thing.
Yeah.
Because the sound is not up to par. I mean, bad visuals can be a style. Bad sound is just bad sound.
That's true. That's what it is.
It's never a style.
Yeah. That's so 100% what it is. A movie is as good as the sound. And the problem is what I also see on the online. That's a little bit off topic, but I see a lot of shows being made by really established businessmen that are making shows about stuff, real estate, whatever, billionaires and all those things, that are really hot on YouTube. And then the sound is okay, but then the music comes in too loud. You don't hear it anymore. So they don't know how to do the sidechain mixing and all that. So they just screw up on that. And they have the money, they have everything, but they still screw up. So I think on sound there's a lot. And sound is also something you cannot automate a lot, With imagery, you can play with LUTs and you have a look and you just throw it on it and it does something, right? With sound, it's like it's this. You can change the sound, but the mixing, the balance between the sound effects and the music also. I mean, how to create impact, If you hear an Indiana, I always refer to Indiana Jones, the old movies, but the music was so like in your face, and but very loud. It's very loud in your face, especially in the movie theater where the dynamics are much larger. So that doesn't exist anymore. I mean,
I miss that. Like when
not too much,
because now it's just background music. Like it was very long time ago that I saw like a full scene just being played with a great soundtrack that you instantly could memorize, like all the John Williams soundtracks and stuff. You know them from the first time you heard them.
Yep.
It's a long time ago I heard.
But the thing you also had in Gladiator, Hans Zimmer, I think he did a great job. But in the mixing, when they are fighting, it's like bang, 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 and you hear the sound effects as well. Now, if you put everything loud, you have nothing. So you really have to measure the levels, and then still the dialogue needs to come through as well. So it's something for the trained ear. You cannot just mix it and try, because when I recorded my first records, they sound awful. I mean, it didn't came out. It was really bad. So I had to learn everything from. I mean, my ears were probably better than they are now, but still, you don't have the trained ear. So that's for sound, But I think, when you're in LA, you have to be careful. Everyone living there, it's not very cheap to be in California to live. So they're all looking for money. They're all looking for some sucker that comes in with $1 million and just want to take his money and then promise heaven and give you shit. That's just my experience. Now I met a lot of great people, and they worked for me as well. Yeah. So
I think the thing now that all your audience can watch out for as well is people that coming to you and say, "I have the finance. you just need to blah blah blah. It's always the same scheme. They want to talk to you, and then they're like, oh, you just pay me 20K, and there's like guarantees blah 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 that you'll get this, and or I'll open up my network, and then you're like, so why the fuck aren't you making movies on a regular basis if you're gonna sell me this? And I met some people in LA and people over LinkedIn been calling me and stuff, and like, guys, I'm not a rookie. This is bullshit. I'm like, no, it's serious. Send me the stuff. And they never call back. It's always bullshit. So if people are asking you for money up front, that's always bullshit. Don't fall for it, people.
Yeah.
If they're asking for a cut of what they bring into the film, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
So only work with those kind of people.
Yeah. Except for lawyer. They always get paid.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but right now, I think the way budgets are being made. I know you're not an AI person, but I think AI would be pretty interesting in post-production, and to improve some workflows, and maybe generate, or let's say, not generate, but just plays backgrounds you have captured yourself or maybe selected, and then you just use it to enhance your scene. I think AI could be interesting to do that, and probably many other things. I mean, I of course we're all a little bit AI bored, There's a lot of AI videos, and we don't care, if an airplane lands in a Starbucks. I don't care, It's AI anyway. So that effect is going away little by little. But I think if you can really use it to get your opening shot a little bit better, have a little bit more stuff going on, some birds flying by, at the right moment. I mean, whatever, everything you can do in VFX, you can much more easier do in AI, I guess. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, when I say fuck AI, what I mean is filmmakers that make these fucking AI prompt videos that you see everywhere, and they think they're the next James Cameron because they can just replicate. They write 2 sentences, and I know I took like 5 masterclasses with AI, so I know what I'm up against, and it's like I could do that as well. But I mean, that's just copying something, and you're not creating shit. It's just AI that's the creator. You don't do anything really if you're the AI creator. But I'm not saying fuck you to the like AI tools. Like if it's like for keying out something, you don't have to send it to India with some 15-year-old kid on minimum wage and stuff like that. So I'm fine with that. I don't care if a part of the VFX is done in like an AI tool or with 3D Studio Max. I mean, who cares? But watching a full movie in just AI prompt, never. That's just soulless crap. But if you integrate it with real actors and you're out there shooting with your camera, I mean, sure. I mean, use it. Or if you want to play around with AI, great. Just don't put your head up your ass and think you're the next Cameron. Basically, or that Hollywood is dead bullshit.
Yeah, that's really bullshit. That I mean, Hollywood is not like The Crew. I mean, not anymore. Hollywood is the IP, the stories, the IP and the talent, the actors.
Yeah.
And you can make technically you would be able to make a movie which looks same as Avatar at some point, but you don't have the actors that are recognizable that people love.
Yeah.
So nobody will watch it.
Or the directing skill to pull it off either.
Yeah, right, of course. But even if you are capable of making something really great, but you don't have the cast that people love and people relate to, it's going to be hard for a distributor or a studio to commit like 30-40 million in P&A, because why would they do that? You know, if it's with Sigourney Weaver or you know, some big names, then it's different. You know, then because they know like people that will mobilize people to the movie theater. But some great visual which comes out of a prompt, who cares? You know, you really need the recognizable. You need humans in it, real humans in it. That makes the difference. You know.
And that's when I think the kind of movies that we make in real locations with real actors, not in studios, but we go out to a fucking mountain, or as I'm doing now, I'm going to a real set and shooting a real western in amazing sets and with real horses and yada yada, real shotguns and real blood squibs and all that old school. I love the old school stuff and all that, and I have a bear scene with an animatronic bear that's gonna be in it and stuff, so no VFX at all almost. I think that's gonna be like organic coffee in a plastic world, you know. I really want to be that. I think that's gonna be high value to a lot of consumers that are tired of just plastic fantastic and like the planes landing on Starbucks or Marvel movies for that matter. I mean, I think people are going to crave the grit and seeing that it's real life in real locations more and more, especially the more AI stuff that comes around. So I think that's going to be high value.
I agree. Now I'm also into tech, and I like to explore all things. I'm not prompting AI and stuff like that, but I like to know what's going on and where it's going. I think the enhancements could still be, let's say, a car chase. You know, when you have a script and there's a car chase, it's like, oh, okay, now the budget goes up, right? Now, if you can enhance that with some AI and stuff, I think it's worth looking at.
Sure, why not?
But you still have your shots of your actors, you know, inside the truck or the car. So you just combine and you have this car flying away, you know, which would be impossible to do without the AI, or even with the VFX would be very expensive to do. So you can reduce cost a lot. It depends a little bit the genre. You would not need it in a drama, but I think for action movies, and also sci-fi movies could be really interesting. But you know, you have to control the style. The style really needs to be original. The style is. Yeah. I think that the style should not be prompted. The style should be created and then used through AI in order to incorporate those elements into the image.
And I think we need to be competitive against AI. I think like filmmakers and all the crew and directors and all that need to readjust, because I don't know why movies need to be this expensive. I mean, I never had much money to play with, but I can do huge things.
That's a big problem.
That's what I recommend to people and actors, mostly actors, agents. Don't overcharge so fucking much, because like for example, John Travolta, he wants like $4 million a movie, and then he wants to take his plane to set, and that costs another $500K. And then he wonders why his movie sucked. Yeah, because they only have like $400K left to make the movie for. And he only wants to be like in like 3 days maybe or whatever. Just an example. But I mean, that needs to change if they want to compete with AI or even get back to making real great movies. It doesn't have to be hard. People overcomplicate things, especially in the US. That's why I really didn't like shooting there, because it was like the unions ruined everything basically. It started off as a good idea like most religions, but basically they just made everything really, really, really complicated, and then it just created these like places that are fighting against each other instead of like working as a team. So they have like transport hates lightning and and all that.
America is a problem. I mean, unions are so strong, and it's counterproductive. And because
it started as a good idea, but now it's just out of control.
Yeah, no, you have to protect the workers and all that. That makes sense. But I think nowadays, the reality is changing. The reality is shifting. You know, I mean, do we gonna have a pension? You know, paid out to us? Does that still exist? I mean, I'm not waiting for it, but that's the type of questions we have to ask us. And I've been you know, independent all my life. So every dollar you make, you have to fight for. That's just normal for me. For many people, it's like not normal. It's like a lot of stress. But I don't care. That's just what it is. And I think if you're in the movie business, I understand the crew. They're not necessarily very creative. They're just doing a really decent job, and they're really technical good. And you need them. And they not necessarily care too much about your movie, because next week they are on another movie, and they just go from movie to movie. So I understand they need to be, but they need some representation. That all makes sense, especially in Hollywood. It's so big.
But I don't know why you need so many of them. I mean, I had 150 people on my crew on my Hollywood movies, and back home I have like 15, 20.
Yeah.
And they're a lot better skilled, so they're more like a SWAT team than a big slow army, where most of the people don't really have a job to do more than 2 hours a day. Then they're just sitting around with their phone, and is just really ineffective for me, at least. And to just move around and be spontaneous and have people work more jobs. Because if they sit down and just sit around, the set becomes lazy.
Yeah, I agree. So, I agree, but everyone is complaining about the tax incentives in the States. And there should be more tax incentive in California, and should be higher. But I think it's going nowhere, because the thing you see when the tax incentive is being leveled up, crew rates become more expensive, housing becomes more expensive, everything becomes more expensive. So that's not a problem. I think it's more the union and all everything around that makes, and the permit. Yeah, in LA, for sure.
LA, I mean, it's
but they're all desperate to make money, so they just charge you. It's for movie. Oh, no, it's $100. It's for movie. Oh, 10,000, $1 million. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like I was shooting an indie movie last year in the States, and it was like we shot downtown LA indoors, and it was like you need 5 permits. or I mean, it's in a fucking studio inside. Why do you need all these fucking permits? It's just ridiculous.
That's why Europe is very interesting, So how are the Swedish people over there reacting or responding to what you do? Do you get some attention there, or how is that going there?
No, I mean, I always been like an underdog here, because I don't really make the movies that fits, and I never really wanted to make Swedish language films, because we have like 10 million people speaking Swedish. So I actually haven't made a Swedish film in 20 years, up until I made this last year, Metal Dragon, that I just tattooed on my arm. Right. So that's like my return. Because, I mean, these Hollywood movies and big budget thing are great, but, I mean, they take a lot of years not to get made, as you know. So I had a movie being pushed, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to fund and produce this movie myself. So now I'm getting noticed around here, but basically my audience is in the States. That's where I made a #1 Netflix movie and stuff like that, and I'm very, like, prolific in LinkedIn, where I accidentally became like an influencer, a movie influencer, which I noticed.
You make a lot of noise. That's good.
Yeah, I make a lot of noise, and I'm just being myself, and I guess I'm different, because a lot of people in the movie industry is really boring, especially in like speaking like this and talking in interviews, and like, why does anyone want to watch you be boring? No one want to watch anything boring.
True.
So I guess that was by accident, but LinkedIn has been amazing to me. I actually made millions on LinkedIn, because I may look crazy and be la la la, but I'm also a good businessman. So that's why I've been able to fund my movies with like my own money, because I made money elsewhere. Because you can be creative and all this, but you also need to be a smart businessman. Otherwise, you're not going to last for long here.
So you're present on LinkedIn. What do you think? What do you think of the self-distribution? Because I see a lot of people saying, all the distributor sales agents go to hell. I'm gonna self-distribute. I think it can work, but it stays marginal, I think. And the chances for making real money, are really slim. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think it all comes down. I mean, people are talking about does this work, does that work, and stuff. What it all comes down to at the end of the day is, did you make a great movie with the right people or not?
Right.
I would never self-distribute, but most of my movies get picked up by Netflix or yada yada anyway. So that's never even occurred to me. I made like one flop in 26 years. But you need to be smart. If you're really smart about it, you already made money before you even shot the film, because you talked to the right people, you got an MG and stuff. The pre-sale model is pretty broken. It used to work, but now the actors are charging way too much because they know they're being used for pre-sales. So that model is sort of broken. So I think the best way, which is also a risk, is that you make the movie and then you sell it when it's great. Because people will pay more for it. Even if you get an MG, that's what it implies. It's a minimum guarantee, what they know they will make for this genre and these names. But it's like a safety net. It depends on what financial muscles you have behind yourself. So
yeah, I think that the pre-sales model still works, but you really have to aim very high. As by experience, you need like really big actors. You have to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the A-list level, yes, but you never get those names anyway. Like it's 1 in 1,000 at least.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Tom Hanks once, but
and that's not even pre-sales. It was not pre-sales. This is just a studio, So
and that's a stroke of luck and a good project and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as you know, those movies don't come around often. It's
no, that's
once
true.
in a while
that's
you have
true.
that.
It was a unique script as well. I think what's interesting is to make movies for the right price. What you had in the 90s, Canon Productions, they made movies for the right price, and then eventually they start spending too much money, they went bankrupt. But let's say right now with the all the technology and the AI, if you start making genre films with some specific flavor people love, and you make it for the right price, but that means really the right price, not just 5 million, not 3, but just for 1 million and less. Then I think you can create a big audience, and you can do great stuff. I think it's possible. 5-6 years ago it was not possible, and unless it's a horror movie with 1, 2, 3 locations. But if you're more into action, then I think there's a lot of more opportunities right now. So I'm also exploring that and see how that could evolve. But
I mean, there's plenty of whiners around. Oh, it doesn't work. The industry's broken. Yada yada yada. Just make a great fucking film, man. Just inspire people. Get the right cast involved, and then you'll find your place. But don't be stupid like when you sign the contracts with shitty sales agent, which I see a lot of people on LinkedIn complaining about. Oh, they didn't make any money. But I mean, it's on you as well, audience guys, that you need to make sure that you're selling to a credible source for a credible price. I mean, don't give your stuff away just because you want an audience, because they might just put it in a corner somewhere. So don't be desperate when you're looking for an outlet for your movie. Just make sure it's really great. And then...
I think if a sales agent doesn't come up with a decent MG, there's no skin in the game. They're just waiting for their cut. I mean, that's no good business, I think. They really need to have skin in the game. And what you see also with the major sales agents, they also, are backed, and they have some cash, which they can use to get like decently packaged movies. I think that's a good model that works. But as you see, the big sales companies becoming also production companies, and vice versa. So it's
which is problematic, because they have no idea how the fuck they produce movies.
Yeah, it depends. It depends who they attract. It depends who they attract. But I think if you really want to stand out, you need like really good cast, and that's just where it starts with movie making cast and a script, and no.
I mean, a smart package. I mean, get the right aim for the right type of cast on that budget level as well. I mean, people think they're gonna land Tom Hardy on their first film. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And so, what's your rookie mistake that people come to you with that we can help them maybe to avoid in the future? Because you can think about it. For my sake, we talked about this as well. Is that I get at least one request a week or a day even of people coming with a script or a story or a book and like, here it is, I want money for it. I want you to attach yourself as a producer or a director or whatever, because I made a Netflix #1 movie and you made some Tom Hanks movies and other stuff as well. But I mean, that's just delusional. Do you ever agree to one of those?
Yeah, no, I think the biggest problem is most people or many people don't understand the process.
Yeah.
So they create a pitch deck and they have a script. But if the script is just so, then you have nothing. So that's where it mostly fails. I rarely receive pitches that have a really good script. That's really problematic, I think. And also people pitch me dramas. Don't pitch me dramas. I don't do dramas. I'm not interested in dramas. Sometimes I see a drama and it could be really good, but I'm not making them. So writers, I mean, we have ScreenRep, right? ScreenRep.com. So we're solving most of those problems as we speak. We're going to have some updates next week and the week after. So we're going to have updates all the time until it's really solved a big problem. And then we're already doing that. So that's great. I think technology is interesting to solve problems, and that's what we do. But I think also you need to understand the process. If you go to a sales company, you need an actor. When no actors, you don't have to go to a sales agent, because what they're gonna sell, your idea, your script, they don't care. You know, they need the validation of an actor, and that's what they can sell. And also director, but I think especially the actors are really important for international sales. So if you don't have that, then you can talk about their script for many years, but you need to cast, and how do you get the cast? That's always a question. I think my process is very simple. So I speak with directors. They come up with a wish list with Tom Cruise on top, let's say. But then we go from the top down and we see who is realistic for this budget, and then we do an offer, which we back the offer. If you don't back the offer, then you're just bullshitting the sales company. And also the agency, the talent agency. So that's the process. If you don't do that, then the other solution would be like, okay, who do you know? So you have an actor who's up and coming. You know, you have a relationship. Okay, try to get him or her being in EP on it, and just get some backend and make it great. That's another solution. That's another option to make something. But if you don't do that, then you really need to do hard offers to cast and get them involved, and then the ball gets rolling. You can get all sorts of financing if you have that. And don't aim too low, because there's a lot of actors we all know that are not really bankable as well. So you really have to aim high enough. So, but it's understanding the process, how it works. Many people think, I mean, even with an email. So you get an email like, oh, I have this fantastic, unbelievable, original, and all superlatives, into the email. When I see that, I know it's I don't care. What's the log line? If the log line sucks, then I mean, there's too many emails coming in. I mean, there are no emails coming in. Everything comes through ScreenRep right now. There's a lot coming in, and it's always the same. It's in music the same. You can make 100 songs and one is a hit. They're not for me.
It's when they always come to me, and I think that's a good lesson for everyone on LinkedIn, because I made millions on LinkedIn, but I never asked anyone for anything.
How do you
Like,
make millions on LinkedIn?
Yeah,
You say
'cause-
millions, right? So that's a lot.
on deals and on endorsements and people
Okay.
sending me money for to do stuff or partnerships, or they invested in my movies and stuff. But I never reached out to anyone on LinkedIn just asking for something, because that's what everyone is doing to me, and I
True.
turn them all down. Because why the fuck would I spend 6 months of my life trying to develop a project for you that I don't even know? Like, I don't never even read the scripts. I do that on my own films, and I don't invest in people that I don't know. It's just delusional. Why would anyone do that? So my advice is, if you reach out to someone, don't just ask, what can you give them in return? Because that's what I do. Like, I have this project, I can bring this to the game. I can bring this actor, or I can bring a 500k equity stake in this, or whatever it may be. I mean, if you're sitting on a great location, or you have this distribution option, like, here's my script, do all the work. That never works, guys. You need to bring something to the table, because people aren't really looking for scripts, are they? There's plenty of
we
scripts.
are looking for scripts all the time, but there are a lot of scripts that are still in rewrite here, so that also takes a lot of work, you know. Once in a while there's something like, this is something we can do, this is good, but it's missing something, so we talk to the writer and we do some rewrites, or we get another writer to get it right. I mean, whatever is needed. So yeah, having an inflow of scripts is very important, because you never know who comes to you with some idea that's like, whoa, this is crazy, you know. So that, I think that's good. You have to spend some time on that. That's for sure. But I think for why, I mean, you're just saying like, everyone asks something on LinkedIn. Let's say you get a DM. Everyone needs something. That's true, and we have enough of all that. So also the advice.
It's a give and take thing. You need to give something, and like both ways. Otherwise, why would it be interesting?
Yeah, right. You have to bring something, and maybe everyone is something missing, you know. You have to figure out what could improve his career, his life, his movies, whatever. I can bring that. Of course, then you're also selling something, but I think people should think it's maybe better not to reach out than just ask something, and then just wait, and maybe once in a while there will be someone like, oh, if he would have this and I can bring it, then he's going to have a better value in his product, whatever. So think as an entrepreneur, and then you create a relationship, and then, you know, they will not forget it, you know. Usually people don't forget it. And then
I think sorry.
No, and then you can grow, you know, because I think what's very important for the listeners is how to start from 0 to 1 to 3, you know, and go up, like in the title here, from nowhere to Hollywood. So I think that just focusing on that first part in your career, that's really, really important. Of course, we all have, like, we can just connect with everyone and we can make a lot of noise, but we still must not forget we have to do something, and we have to bring something. And I think if you have talent in arts or whatever, you have to show it, and then people will see it, like, oh, this is crazy, let's reach out, you know. We have something
that's how I made my millions, basically.
Yeah.
Because 90% of the deals I made from LinkedIn, or the producers or investors, they came to me. Because I'm doing like all these posts, and I'm teaching young filmmakers how not to make mistakes, or giving advice and everything. And then I also speaking about how to invest properly and showing how my movies make a lot of money for a lot of people. So then they realize, this guy is making other people rich. I want to get rich too, or he's getting stuff distributed, so I want to get in on that. So they come to me, and then we discuss, or they're like, can you endorse this project or this product or whatever it may be, and they give me a fee for that. So LinkedIn has been very kind to me, but I never ask for anything, really. It's just partnerships. and most of them are coming to me. So it's just be a fun guy to work with, because people don't want to work with assholes either. It's really important that you're an easygoing person, a cool cat, and you don't fuck people over. That's so important. People get so greedy in this game, and they maybe score a profit once, but then there's toast. Then they're toast. Then they're one of those guys in LA trying to fuck people over for the rest of their life.
But that's a problem in every industry. People want to get rich quick, but that doesn't.
They don't
work.
think about the long game.
Yeah, that doesn't work. You really have to be very patient and actually bring value. If you don't bring value, nothing's gonna happen. You really have to bring value, whatever it is. You know, it could be in a great painting or a piece of music, whatever. You have to bring value, and then you have to do that all over again until it hits. You know, until you have some result.
Yeah.
So that's something. But the mindset. Let's talk about the mindset, you know. So let's say you're like 20 years old, you're out of school, or even 18 years old, you're out of school. You have $0 on your bank account, you have nothing, you just have an old car or whatever. So how do you start? How do you start? What do you do? Okay. So I think you have your smartphone, you know, that's where it starts nowadays, I guess, because there's a camera in it. And maybe you buy a small, good DSLR camera and you start shooting stuff. But I think, I mean, there's so many things you can do. And on the other hand, maybe that's, I'm just thinking loud here, but you have to start somewhere. So you did it your way, I did it my way, pre-internet. But you know, maybe you have to become an entrepreneur if you really want to be successful in the business of movies. Maybe first you have to become an entrepreneur and be successful in that, have some cash flow. And once you have the cash flow, you will look at things much differently, because you know what it takes to make cash, to make money. And then then you can say like, okay, I have this now, so how are we going to finance this movie? Okay, you have some cash, so you can do something. I wouldn't put everything in it, but maybe you can attract some other investors and co-finance it. So that's a different story, you know. Then you have a different story. You also have the experience in doing business, which is important. And I think
it's called the film industry and film business. It's not called the film arts.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's an art, but it's an art.
But it's
business.
also connected to business, like you say.
Yeah, it's a lot of business because it's a very expensive art. That's true. But I think there's a lot of options you can do with small crew, and especially in the horror genre, which is also a genre I'm pretty active in. I think you can do a lot of things, but it all starts with a really good script and understanding what a good script is. That's also something you have to learn. I think in order to become a good screenwriter, and I'm not a screenwriter, but I think you need 10 years to be very active in order to understand every level of, or most levels of screenwriting. It's very tough, you know. It's a craft, and you really have to learn it. And without a great script, you cannot make those great movies, you know.
Yeah.
That's why most filmmakers just fail, because they just have a script which it's okay, you know, and they just start. I'm not doing that anymore. It really has to be really good, and it's sometimes very hard to find a good script. But anyway, I think the mindset of the youth, of the younger filmmaker, I think there is something to talk to say about.
I think that's where it starts. Really, you can have the script and all that, but it starts with the mindset and a goal. Like, where do you want to go with this? Like, do you just want to make movies as a hobby? I mean, that's fine. You can do a movie like every 10 years or whatever, and you can pay it for it while you're a dentist or work in a warehouse or whatever. But if you want to make a living out of making movies, then the most important thing is the mindset, because talent will only get you that far. Talent is just the ground plate. If there's so many talentless people, they should just give up and do something else with their lives, because then they'll be happy with it. But if you have the talent, you also need a mindset. Like, you may not get paid for this for 16 years. And if that's not a problem, or if people are like, oh, you should give up, you should do something else with your life, and you go like, yeah, maybe they're right, then don't do it. But if people can convince you to not make movies, because that's what you live for, that's what you wake up dreaming about, that's like, this is my purpose for living. Like me, I get like depressed when I'm not making movies. I'm like a broken machine, not doing what it's supposed to do, and I have this constantly these ideas and visions and all that in my mind, and that tingle when things start to happen. I need that in my life. If you're that crazy to get into this fucking unsure industry, you need that mindset. Otherwise, please do something else, because this is a very hard industry. Then just have it as a hobby. Make some small movies. Don't care if it makes money. I mean, people buy expensive cars. Buy a cheaper car and put a few $100K in a few movies you make. Just do that. You'll be content.
Yeah, but that's in any business. I think. I mean, spending money, that's the easiest thing there is, and the only problem is you can only spend $1 once. It's gone. You have to. I mean, that's a big mistake many people do, and you have to focus. I think your life. I think it's fine if your life is shit when you're 20 until you're 30. I think that's normal. Because
I think that's good. Yeah, because you need to learn how to not be spoiled and like live on bare minimum. I did that. I mean, I wasn't paid for my first 16 years. I didn't make a dime, and it never bothered me. Yeah, but and the only money I got in, I put into kickstarting my own movies.
Yeah. No, but that makes sense, but people need to understand if they're going to a business like movies, or I think any business as an entrepreneur. I'm talking as an entrepreneur. Then your life doesn't supposed to be like really great the first 10 years, when you're out of school. It's going to be very hard, and could be even 20 years, whatever, you really have to go through it. But then there is also the, because you're an entrepreneur also, you just calculate in your mind, okay, what's possible, what's the budget, what's, as a producer, you think, of course, as a director and as a storyteller in general. So that's all good, but then there is also the European film model, which is based like, oh, we have this project and we get subsidies, we can make it now, and they're gonna spend all the money, and then next year, we just missed on the subsidies. Okay, and then after, we get the subsidies again, now we can make a movie again. That's another model. You can also do that. You don't have to be an entrepreneur, you just have to be in good standing with the grants and the subsidy authority and all that,
and be really good at bullshitting those forms, because you sort of can tell what they're after and what sort of projects they're
but
looking for.
You also have to be willing to do that, to provide that, and I'm not really interested in that. I think
I don't make those kind of movies, so I never even
yeah, but that's,
I mean, would they ever put money into a bear horror film? No. So it's a certain sort of style that they're looking for.
Yeah, but it's always the same. I think all the style they're requesting it's always. I mean, they see it differently because they're not filmmakers. But if you look at the world, at the audiences, at what people really want to want to enjoy in the movie theater, then I mean, don't take advice from those who have never done it, right? So yeah.
And other thing comes into play when you get that kind of money, because they like, we want the story to be about this town that you're getting money from. Can you like get that into the story? Or now gender equality is popular. Can you sneak that into the story? All that comes into play when you're getting those grants and stuff as well, usually. Yeah, you need to take consideration.
If it makes sense for the story, everything is fine. Every element is fine, but you cannot push an element into a script just in order to get funding. That's just wrong. It's just totally wrong. But if it makes,
I don't think they should like, when you give money to filmmakers, don't add stuff like that. No, that you impose on them. I hate that and most of them do. And they have no idea. They just we need this from this government to have this bullshit in the story.
Yeah, but Sorry, go ahead.
But if you want that kind of money, you need to work around that and use it to your advantage.
Yeah, but then you want to do? I mean, then you do it for the money. You're not a filmmaker, in my opinion. If you're a filmmaker, you just make what's in your mind and you go for it. And I think nowadays with AI and technology, you can just make whatever you want without any government saying, you know, or telling you what to do. You know, I think that's really possible right now. I mean, a movie which would cost like 3 million 5 years ago, you can make it maybe for 500,000-600,000 nowadays. You could do that, and
Easily.
it will look great. It will sound great. If I'm mixing it, no, I'm not a mixer, but it's you can do a lot, and I think that's the answer, and that's the answer to all the subsidies and all those politics. You know, I think that's a great answer to that. So basically, what's going to happen? Technology will allow filmmakers to do whatever they want, and that's just. I'm really happy about that. You know, I mean, it's another industrial revolution we're in, right? So what's changing? It's crazy. It's really we live in a good era right now. That's no doubt.
I'm not as enthusiastic as you are about that.
But you don't have to sell your soul. You have to use it as a tool. You know. I mean, that's the same thing. You know, we shoot film. We don't shoot digital. Yeah, why not? Because film is better and film is this. And I agree, film is like organic and it's crazy. But it's not wrong to shoot a movie on a digital camera, right? Yeah. So you use it for that. But if you start generating AI imagery, just based on prompts and not based on art you just provide yourself, I think your source material should always be original and not generated. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
I think people should understand that this is not a lazy industry. You still need to learn a craft. There's no like quick fix to getting finance. There's no quick fix of getting your first film off the ground, and there's no quick fix of learning this trade. It takes a lot of time. So you still need to do the groundwork. There's no like, oh, I have an idea, give me money. No one's gonna fund your first film. Why would they? I mean, what I recommend is don't go to film school. Use that money and fund your first film.
Yes.
And get people to, because that's what I did.
Me too.
I never did any of it. I just worked as a child actor from when I was like 6, and I used that money to fund my first film.
Yeah.
And then you have a first film, and then you can build on it. But your first film, no one's gonna fund it. Maybe your mom and dad, but so try to do that for as little as possible, and just treat that as your film school. Basically, it's not gonna be amazing, but release it. Because if you don't release it, no one that's helped you on their first film is going to help you on the next one, because they know, like, he didn't even finish that film. Why would we help him? But if it was okay, but maybe he'll get better next time. So whatever you do, release the films, even if it's for free on YouTube. I mean, as long as respect the people that helps you. Don't grow an ego. It's not about, when it becomes about ego and stuff, you're toast.
You're lost.
It's never going to happen. You're lost. Then it's just about your own validation. It should always be about serving your story, telling your story. Yeah, get all these egos out of the way.
Yeah, but that was the problem. And I never went to film school either, but I knew people that went to film school in Brussels. And talking about ego, it's
they almost teach it, right?
they do teach it, I think. And also the way you should dress and all that, that's all part of the package, right? Now there's some great artists going there. That's not the issue, but I think as a director, being very picky about everything. I mean, you need to know what you're going for the vision should match, the outcome. That's for sure. But I think we're in times that you also have to be realistic and be understand the economics behind it, and not just building sets for 2 shots and then like whatever, it's the studio paying for it. I think that's not gonna work anymore, and you see it, everything is too expensive, so we have to do it in a different way. And that's where technology can help a lot, but I mean we made a lot of about the AI. We made a lot of designs for many movies that were never used as well, so we have like a lot of designs of creatures and stuff, really cool stuff, which
Cool.
we can use right now in movies that were too expensive to make, so we can just do it now. And I'm looking into to animate them, so and see how good that goes, and then we can just write it into the script again.
I mean, there's a way to predict the future of movies, and it's always been, because if you want to see where the film industry is gonna go, look at the music industry, because that's always been foreshadowing what's gonna happen in the film industry. Like piracy of songs started. They're like, oh, the movies are safe. Then they started pirating this, and then Spotify came and solved that problem, and then Netflix came and solved that problem, and it started with music stars, then moved into movie stars. So the music industry, because it's an easier medium, has always been 5-10 years before what's going to happen, sort of in the line of movies. So I mean, that's where they are with AI music and stuff. That's going to be a problem for the film industry as well. But also, like you're talking about self-distribution, it's like a lot of stars choose not to go with the big labels. They choose to put out their own music. Some make more money, some don't make any money, and there's not a lot of money left in the music industry. So I think that's, if you want to predict the future, look at the music industry.
Yes, yeah. It's another medium. It's easier to make music, but how many songs are being uploaded on Spotify every day? I don't know, thousands.
Yeah, and how many movies are gonna be uploaded when all the prompt stuff can be turned into feature films? So that's it's gonna be a similar problem.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean with the music, people tend to listen to the same songs all the time, right?
Yeah.
So they're not gonna listen to the new songs coming in, because then you need 20 lives in order to listen to all the songs. I mean, maybe 50 lives.
And what do they listen to? They listen to the old stuff that was made with pure heart and joy, and made by real humans.
I agree, or what the majors push. So
but they become the flavor of the week. Then they disappear. The really good stuff, like movies, they stick around and become classics.
No, I agree. But if you listen to Spotify, then it's obvious that the major labels are just pushing their music through.
Oh, of course, and they're putting money into it and all. And they're getting listenings and
but that
audience.
means if that foreshadows what's going to happen in the movie business, that also means that Hollywood, which is like the major, and those are the majors, they will also still control the output of a selection of music, of artists, of directors, of actors they support. So you have to break in if you want to make a living. I think you have to break into the system, into Hollywood, what you did, and I think that's just the only way to do it, because some people tend to forget. I made a movie, it looks good, it looks great, but without any decent distribution, good luck. You really need
the industry is what it is, and you have two choices, or three really. You can leave it. You can adapt, like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do, or you'll create your own industry, and that takes a lot more time and money. But that's what I did, and you did. And if you really stick to your gun and you have a good setup and people that believes in you, good things can happen. So it's your choice, really, if you want to adapt or create your own.
I still want to focus on that mindset, because it's hard for young people to understand what a mindset is. It's when the world comes to an end, you will still take your camera and shoot some shots or do something. That's the mindset. So don't be complaining and whining. Just do it. You know. I mean, look, James Cameron's story. You know, it was just working day and night. That's just commitment.
And living in his mama's garage, living on Big Mac coupons. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what it takes in order to be on the top of the mountain. That's what it takes. If you're just waiting, every moment you wait, most terrible things happen because people were bored. So never get bored, because terrible things will happen. So never get bored, and every minute you have extra time to do something on your career. I think that's important. If you don't do it, you'll get bored and you start doing stupid things. You know, that's just what people do when they get bored. And now we're in a time that many people are bored, and there's also a lot of stupid things happening. so
yeah, and like, get out, meet people, have your projects. Don't just have one script. Write the next one, because they will be better. And don't just put all your eggs in one basket, because then you're just putting everything there. If you have multiple projects, great. Then you meet someone, oh, I'm looking for this. Oh, this is great. Oh, you're looking for that? This is great. And you can meet people online, but it's really, if you're getting to places where you can meet like-minded people, like in film festivals, right, starting out and stuff, you're like, oh, can we collaborate on this, that? When you meet people in person, I mean, have you ever gotten money out of someone that you never met in like real life?
No.
No.
I never go to festivals either.
No, but you show up, you like take a plane and you get on a meeting and you meet face to face, you go and have a beer and or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's meeting people for real. That's when you interact with people, and then you can start making deals.
No, I agree. But I'm very picky on spending time elsewhere. Going to Cannes when I have to. I go to Cannes. I have like my meetings, and then I fly back home. I'm not gonna stay there and say, okay, now we have Cannes, then we have Toronto, and then we have. I think there's a lot of time, a lot of energy you have to spend there in order to have good vibes. But I'm not there for the good vibes. I don't care.
I'm only there for the good vibes, man. Because believe it or not, I'm extremely fun to party with.
Yeah. But I've partied for 20 lives. I've partied a lot. I used to be a DJ in the 90s. So
there you go.
What more do I have to tell you? Something to close, man. Titus?
Yeah.
A closer?
Yeah, I think. Yeah. I mean, don't get lazy, people. I mean, there's good tools. You can make a feature film with this bad boy. Just go out and do it. It won't be perfect your first go, but release it. Get on to your next one. Learn from the mistakes you did on the first one. Don't do them on the second one, and then you fix those mistakes, and then blah, blah, blah. Eventually, you'll have a good movie. And who knows? The beauty of films and stuff we create is they can outlive you. I mean, you're gone and dead, and your grandchildren like, look what this relative of yours made. That's the beauty of it. It can survive you. That's more important than money.
All right, that's a cut.